What's the point of this thing? It's just like a foam ball. My mic is kind of tiny. It was cheap. Getting a new one though. Okay guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing off my game, which is part of a challenge that Yannick did and Zyger did. So yeah, particle beam. Yeah, that's what it's called. Last week was the last week of school, so I kind of had to do some work, and I couldn't work on the game or video editing, so yeah, this is the first part in a series, so part 2 will be coming out soon. So I started off by making a 2D game. I was thinking of making a 3D game, but that would probably take too long. Might make one in the future though, as like a part 2 to particle beam. So anyway, I started playing around with the particle system, which is one game object that you can do so much with, but it's basically just the visuals. I mean, I bet you could do different like mechanics and stuff that involved every particle in the particle beam, but I didn't really want to do that. I thought that it would be fair to make my own sprites, but only simple shapes like triangles and squares, and I think that's all I used, because the default Unity sprite is a big blurry blob, which does not look very good in 2D games, at least in my opinion, unless maybe you shrunk it down a whole lot. Anyway, I was thinking of making a shooter game where you can control where you aim with the mouse and control where you move with WASD, or the arrow keys, if you don't have a WASD keyboard. Controlling the player's position with WASD was quite easy, and making the player aim towards the mouse was just as easy as getting the mouse's position, finding the direction by the difference of the two positions, and doing a little bit more complicated stuff, and then just changing the rotation to that point, which made it look quite smooth and nice looking in my opinion. I used a particle system as the player sprite, but I made it so that the speed was very slow, so the particles didn't go off in random directions and they basically stayed in the same area. That way you had a consistent player sprite, but it wasn't actually cheating by just making it a triangle, so you could still see individual particles. Making the player shoot was actually really fun, and these orange bullets right here, you can shoot every couple of seconds, and it's just like an automatic gun, but it's fairly weak. Enemies, I just made red cubes, and the first one, which I might still make more, but I haven't done yet, so that's for part 2 probably. It is a melee enemy, and all it does is it tries to crash into you. Anyway, after a little bit of shooting, you can kill the enemy, and it explodes, and also the same if you die, it explodes. I had some post-processing effects to the camera which made it look really nice. So I added a bloom effect, I added a vignette, and I also added some lens distortion, so it looks like some sort of an old CRT monitor. Also some film grain added to that effect a bit. I got kind of bored of adding a bunch of mechanics, so what I did next was I made a nice looking menu which had the title, particle beam on it, and just a play button. Using just text sprites wouldn't be allowed, and just drawing them in MS Paint or something like that wouldn't probably be allowed either. So what I had to do is I had to model on a mesh, a plane, in Blender, and you had to make every single letter 3D modeled. Now once you do that, you import it into Unity, and then on the particle system, in shape, what you can do is you can drag in that mesh, and then all of the particles, instead of spawning in a box or a circle or something like that, they spawn in the shape of text. You can't actually put, or in my research, you can't put any of the particle systems inside of the canvas. So that means you have to put them inside the actual game world instead of just as an overlay on top of the screen. So that makes it a little bit more difficult by aligning them and using some of the canvas functionalities, but I was able to figure it out and make everything work in the end. I added a large bar at the top which signals when you have a full charge, which is basically the entire idea I had for this game at the beginning, where you can charge up your power, and once it is completely full, you get to use a power up, and it's like a laser beam almost. Instead of making it a laser beam, what I did is I made it spawn thousands of bullets, and they move like really fast, and they're also much brighter and more powerful, so It makes it like a much more cool effect in my opinion. You can probably comment down below whether you like that better or if you'd rather have a laser beam. Anyway, once that was done, I decided that I should probably add a health bar. After that, I decided that I should probably add a health bar, which probably would have been better from the beginning because it took like an hour or two to do that. But at least I was able to duplicate the charge bar and then just put it on the side, so that's the health bar. And making it red just signified that it's health. I made a plus sign in Blender so that I can spawn all the particles off of it, and then you have a health pickup, which works pretty nice. Well everyone, that's all the progress I have for now. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more of my content, please subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thanks again, and until next time, goodbye.